What's up, y'all? Welcome to the channel. Today we're building a home bow shop, courtesy of Lancaster Archery. If you don't know what Lancaster Archery is, they're basically the Amazon of archery. Anything you need, anything you could ever want, online, shipped to your door. They're great people over there. If you ever need anything, reach out to them. Order, it'll be here quick. They do great business, good people. So they've sent me some stuff. We're gonna open it up, see what we got. Should be everything I need to build my bow, tinker with my bow, build other people's bows. Let's get this open here. All right, looks like we got some merch. Oh yeah. Big old banner. Let's put that up behind me. Check it out. Get some hats. About to bust one of those out. Some t-shirts. More t-shirts. Sweet, man. We are gonna be looking good. Here's my fletching glue and primer pin for my vanes. BCY 23 braided spectra, 1.6 millimeter for my D loops. Hamskea Gen 2. Allen handle ratcheting, I'm pretty sure, so that is nice. Here's our glue. Here's our primer pin. Baker Archery bow vise. Best on the market, I believe. If you know anything about bow vices, done my research and that one seems to be the best. Ultraview UV button. Didn't have a release yet for my new bow, so got one of those. Some string wax. D Loop pliers. Easton needle nose pliers. Last Chance Archery Swab kit, so when I cut my arrows, I can rough them up, help the inserts stick better. Flex Fletch 360 vanes. Brim cap, brim pin for the hat. Arrow holder for the grain scale. Some stickers, had to put those on the workbench. And that is box number 1. So I'll put links to all this stuff in the description, other than the merch probably, but all these tools, anything you see, I'll put links, and if you need any of it, go get it. Box number 2, find my knife. Oh yeah, this looks like the Modsaw. Saw to cut my arrows with. Pretty neat. We'll figure out how to use it and explain it. Hardware to go with it, it looks like. And a charger. Let's get this all cleaned off, and the last box, I believe, is an easy green bow press. All right, before we break open the press, let's take a look at this UV button. I'm excited about this. Got a little Allen screw, Allen key. That feels nice in the hand. Nice packaging. Seems like they know what they're doing over there at Ultraview. There we go. All right, for the cornerstone of any bow shop, a press. Let's open it up, put it together. Some accessories that they want us to get. Here it is. This looks like our fingers. And the press. press. Wow, that's heavy. Guess you want it to be heavy duty. Boom. Easy green bow press. All right, I am going to put this together and I'll show y'all a nifty idea that I have to mount this to the bench, but not permanently. Before we get this bow press and saw mounted, let's open up this vise because I think this might factor into my mounting decision. Heavy duty, that looks like where your grip sits, or limbs, I guess. I'll probably use it on the grip sticker. So this mounts on the edge right here like this. Oh, that's nice. So when I was trying to unscrew it, it's hitting this, but you can lift it up and turn it. So it sits on the edge. 360 articulation. You can have it resting flat, vertical, you can move it up. Really anything you want to do. That is awesome. So my idea for mounting all this stuff is this 2x6. Go right here. There's no lips on this workbench, but I figured out that I can just open this drawer. I've got some clamps in here. I can open the drawer and I can clamp this on the corners. These are just standard workbench clamps, woodworking, whatever you would use them for. Got them at Home Depot. And there we go. The drawer doesn't close all the way, but that's good enough. Probably gonna throw this on here like that, or maybe in the middle. I want it on the edge so the bow can hang off and not hit that drawer. About right there. And then the rest of this for the saw. That looks good. And then, yes, this is looking good. So now I think mount this right there. How about that? So let's get this all mounted up and then we'll be ready to rock. All right, so I got the press screwed down, just 4 bolts, washers on them. This looks like a good location. I'm thinking I'm gonna put the saw here. Let's get these fingers in. You push these tabs down and then just slide it on. And then these little screws on the back, these thumb screws, are to adjust the angle of these fingers. So if I screw it down, you see how it moves forward. So we'll have to, once we get the bow in there, adjust them for the bow. And you can also adjust the width, move them forward and backwards, spread them out. And there we go, that's the press. And then it cranks. My bow is a 31. I've seen some people get a drill. There's some nuts on here. If you get a socket big enough, you can just drill it instead, but this should be the only time I have to move it this far. So the press is in. Now we're gonna get this saw put on. So I just found these screws. The saw didn't come with any screws to mount to it, to mount it to the table. So I got these screws. Before you screw it down, it comes with all these pieces collapsed all the way to the end. So you just loosen these little thumb knobs, slide them down, and then this was in a little bag separate. This is the screw mount for this end, and then the back has 2 screw holes over there. So you just stick this in and then it can slide wherever. And they say to just get it close as close up to the motor as you can. 2, 3. There we go. The Modsaw is on. I can plug it in over here. So there's the press, the saw. I'm going to mount this vise over here, but I've got to run to Home Depot and get some bolts for it. I guess the standalone vise does not come with bolts, but if you buy a bundle, then it does. I just got the standalone, so no bolts, but no problem. I'll get some. Quick trip to Home Depot, got some lag bolts, lag screws, I guess, and some washers. Looked on the website for Baker Archery, and you can buy their lag screws, which are 5/16 heads, 1.5 inches long. So that's just what I got at Home Depot. All right, those on there solid. Press, saw, vise, all on there. Last thing I think I'm gonna do is drill some holes for these brushes. Got the brush swab kit from Last Chance Archery drilled and put into there. So my little 2x6 mobile bow station is complete. I'll go over all the products one more time. We'll start with the tools. So these D Loop pliers are when you're putting on a new D Loop and it's not tight yet, you can hook that in there and then squeeze, and it pulls the D Loop away from the string and tightens down those knots. These are an absolute must if you're changing D Loops. These needle nose pliers are also the same. They're a little smaller tip, so when the loop is really small, right when you're first making it, it's easier to get these in there, and they've got grooves in there that catch the material and the string. So that I'll get that in there to spread it wide enough to fit this other tool in there. And then this is the final crank. This Hamskea Gen 2 axis leveling tool is for your sight axes. So when I have the bow and the vise and I get the strings level, I can clamp this on multiple places on the sight, like right there. And I can make sure all my axes are level, first and second axis. And then this screw through here is for doing your third axis. The ratcheting set is just an Allen set for all of the stuff on the bow is Allen heads. Makes it easy to put everything attached to the bow and tighten or loosen anything. Pretty simple. Then I've got my Flex Fletch 360 vanes. That's what I am running this year. I watched the Aeroballistic study and those seem to be the best. And I've also got this LCA glue. This stuff dries really fast. You don't need a lot when you're putting the vanes on, but it's really strong and it's holding well. And I primed the vanes with this primer pen. Got my D Loop material, this bright red BCY 23. That's what I made this D Loop out of. 23 versus 24 material. 23 is a little bit thinner and stiffer. I like it for my handheld release. It just feels a little more sturdy and doesn't stretch as much over time. And then some string wax, obviously, pretty simple. Just wax go on the strings when they get frayed or anything. And then onto the big stuff. So on this little 2x6 is these Last Chance Archery brush swabs. So when I cut my arrows on the Modsaw, I'll use these to stick in the end of the arrow and rough up the carbon and then clean it with the cloth ones. And that just helps the glue stick better for the inserts, and it's worked really well. Then the press, obviously, I'm sure you know what a press is, but I've got these fingers pressed all the way forward for this Matthews Lift X, and I should probably get some Matthews specific fingers, but it's been working with these. You just set all these fingers into the grooves of the limbs and you can press the bow. Pretty simple. This press does everything I need it to. It's hand crank, probably about as simple as it gets, but it's been working great for me. Putting in peeps, getting my string twists right to check timing. The only thing I don't have is a draw board for it. I'll probably get one soon. I know they make one that you can insert into the end of this, these arms of this press. So I'll probably be getting that soon, but I just went to the bow shop to check my timing, and I've been learning some stuff up there anyways. But next we'll go to the Modsaw. So all of these pieces, like I said, you can move them around. So this is the end of your arrow where you'll put that in, and then you can slide everything. There's measurements on the saw for your arrow length, and I went ahead and marked mine right where I've been cutting my arrows for easy remembering. So you put the knock in here. There's also a plate that you can change this out to. That's just if you're going carbon to carbon with no knock in the arrow. I've been using the knocks, so I have this knock adapter in there. Stick the knocks in there, rest it on this little shelf, and then the saw blade is right here, and just twist into the saw blade, cut the arrow. It's been working great. And the reason I love this Modsaw is because it's also a spinner. So it's got these bearings back here that you can also move them around, get them towards the end of your arrow, spin your arrow to check for wobble, make sure they're straight. And then it's got this wobble indicator right here where you get your eyesight over the end of the arrow, and there's a little black line, and you can literally put your point right over that from your line of sight, and you can easily see if the point's wobbling. So it's a saw, a spinner, and a squaring tool. So this right here is a sandpaper squaring tool. And once again, you can rest your arrow on the bearings and then give it a good twist until your arrow is square. So it's really 3 tools in one, which is why I love it. And I think the price is great. I think it's like around $150. And I don't think you can beat that for a saw, a spinner, and a squaring tool. I think it's a relatively new product, but I've loved it so far. It's been great. It's also got a vacuum connection back here to limit the carbon that's going in the air. You really don't want to breathe that, so that's been great. And the last thing is this vise over here. I mentioned how to use it, but it's been great too. So I'll throw the bow in there and show you how easy it is. You just loosen the clamp. I use it on the grip, and it just goes in there. It's got padded clamps, so I'm not worried about messing anything up when I tighten it down. Tightens down, and then just a quick lever loosen, and I've got all kinds of movement here. I can work on my bow in any direction, and it's really been, I love it so far. It's a really simple product, very heavy duty, and it mounts right to the workbench, and it's been great. The only other things that you'll need that I already had, so I didn't need to get from them, but they also have all this stuff as well, is an arrow level, a string level, which just goes on your bowstring when you have it in the vise, and it allows you to make sure your bow is completely level from the string. I used that a lot when I was setting up my sight and my rest and my arrow height and everything. It's very important. And then I've got a string splitter just for easy flipping peep sights. I've got some serving material. I got some lighters, which are necessary when you're tying D loops and tying everything in. And I've got a little Allen pocket set. All that stuff's pretty useful, especially also this X-Acto knife, cut D Loop material, cut D loops off the string really carefully, and then some Sharpies, and that's about it. So this is my idea of the mobile archery shop, is that I can unscrew these clamps, and now I can remove this entire 2x6. Keep it in the garage, still have my full workbench. Get it out when I need it. I can travel with it. Set it up elsewhere. And there you have it, my own at-home archery shop, mobile. So shout out to Lancaster Archery for hooking me up. Like I said, they got everything you can need. So if you're shopping online and you want something like this, or just even little parts, go there, lancasterarchery.com. I'll put links in the description of all these products that you'll see in my videos, and you can go straight through that link. There you go. We'll be making some more videos in the future with building my bow, hunting, guns, all kinds of stuff. So check out the channel, and thanks for watching.